So a question floating around the fan base this offseason is Mike Zimmer, right? Fresh off that big time wild card playoff win down in New Orleans, and then the whatever happened in Santa Clara. I don't remember what happened there. But why isn't Michael Jerome Ezekiel Zimmer? Did anyone ever call him Michael? It's weird. But why hasn't Zim been extended, right? So that is a question there. Now, Zimmer says he doesn't care about an extension, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much in the same situation last year when he still had 1 year remaining on his deal heading into the 2019 season as a lame duck. The Vikings slapped on a 1 year Band-Aid on his deal, and everyone's like, oh, Zimmer got the big extension. Not really. But Zimmer, respect, is the third winningest head coach in Vikings franchise history behind Bud Grant and Denny Green with a .599 winning percentage. 2 division titles in 6 years at the helm of the Vikes. 3 playoff appearances, 2 playoff game wins, and a partridge in a pear tree. Plus, he's been through a lot. Like, through those 6 years, there's been a lot of adversity. Teddy's leg socially distanced from his body. Sam Bradford and his myriad of injuries, even though he looked... God. Bradford looks so damn good at times, man. Come on. Yeah. The Kirk Cousins contract, then working through that, as well as his health issues, his eyes, everything, this, that, and the other. Tony Sperano passing away. Man, Mike Zimmer has had to deal with a lot of stuff during his time here with the Vikings. But last year, I truly believe that his job was on the line. If the Vikings didn't win that playoff game in New Orleans, I think that the Minnesota Fighting Vikings would have a different head coach at this point in time. I mean, you look at, you try and piece together all the tea leaves. Why did the Cowboys and Jared Jones drag out the execution of Jason Garrett for so long? It wasn't because of this love and respect and just making sure that Jason Garrett landed on his feet, all that stuff, and then we finally settled for Mike McCarthy. No, it was because they wanted to see what happened with the Vikings and Mike Zimmer. And I truly believe that Jerry Jones, he was waiting to see if the Vikings were going to axe Mike Zimmer, who was his defensive coordinator for a number of years with the Cowboys under Bill Parcells, or they would have traded for him. I still firmly believe that. Tinfoil hat, it would actually, no, not even conspiracy theory. That's what would have happened. Boom. But the defense failed at times last year, your defensive coach. So now with a new bit of a rebirth, a bit of a reload with the Vikings defense, especially that entire youth movement on there. So now if he can rebuild that defense, he's good to go. If not, there are some questions, right? We voiced our concern before. Love Zimmer. I think he's a very good head coach, but is that all that he's going to be? Because at a certain point with coaches, you do plateau, right? And you just can't quite get over the next hump. So is Mike Zimmer going to be Bill Cowher, or is it going to be his predecessor, Marvin Lewis? Well, not predecessor, but former Boston Cincinnati. Marvin Lewis, right? 2 coaches who are both good. And their respective teams stuck with them through thick and thin for many years. Bill Cowher eventually rewarded the Steelers with a Super Bowl title. Marvin Lewis never won a playoff game. All right, so Zimmer's already surpassed Marvin Lewis in that department, but is he good enough to get the Vikings to that next level? Or are we just going to be always happy with a divisional round appearance or an NFC title game appearance? We want to get to a Super Bowl. Is that not the goal? Do you see Mike Zimmer as a head coach who will take it to a Super Bowl? I think that he can do it. And the question is, do you extend him right now? So Spielman, we also theorized that Spielman was on the hot seat. But you look at his offseason moves, you look at that draft, you look at that entire youth movement and rebuild and makeover. Well, not rebuild. Freudian slip. Just a makeover on the entire roster. Like, this is a man very secure in his position, right? So not a lot of desperation moves, not a lot of all in. It's a lot of sowing seeds that you're going to reap down the lines once that harvest comes in with all these young players, right? So Spielman is secure. So question is, why haven't they announced a Spielman extension? Why haven't they announced a Zimmer extension, right? And can Zimmer just continue this sort of backwards in today's modern NFL of being a defense-first, defense-only head coach, right? So as a head coach, you do need to be the head coach of the entire team, where for many years we've said Mike Zimmer has basically been the defense coordinator with the challenge flag, right? So he's always wanted the head coach of the offense, Norv, Shermer. Now he has one in Gary Kubiak. And nice thing about it is that Gary Kubiak ain't going anywhere, right? But if Zimmer doesn't get it done early this season, and barring some long-term concrete guaranteed extension, I'm not talking about the 1 year Band-Aid. I'm talking about if they don't commit to Zimmer for 3 to 4 years, is it a spot where Gary Kubiak, C-O-U-P, Kubiak, is waiting in the wings well, I'll be a head coach. Sure, why not? Because remember, Gary Kubiak didn't want to be offensive coordinator because of his health issues. He just wanted that taste. He just wanted that, ride that dragon, just a little bump. So that's why he was offensive czar and offensive consultant. And now he's back being an OC. So it's a hop, skip, and a jump where he could eventually be the head coach of the Vikings, right? But that's... if the Vikings start out wonky again in 2020, we'll see what happens there. But I actually believe Zimmer when he says that he does not care if he has an extension or not, because I actually think that, he believes that he could hold the locker room together even if he is on a lame duck year, even if the locker room knows that, hey, he may not be back next year. Do we really have to listen to that thing? I think that he believes, as well as I believe that he commands the respect of the team in that locker room that he's cultivated over the last 6 seasons to be secure in that respect. So I believe him when he says that he doesn't care about an extension, because Zimmer and his bluntness, which is great, that he always wears his emotions on his sleeve. He always says what he's thinking. He never lies, right? The only time that Zimmer's ever lied as head coach of the Vikings is his role in the stuffed animal massacre, as well as if Terrence Newman was going to be playing safety against the Cardinals. That is it. That is it. So Zimmer, he may, like I said, he may be fine because, hey, if I do a good job, I deserve, I'll get paid by the Vikings or someone else. And so he's fine there. Plus, if this doesn't work out and I get fired, I will have a defense coordinator job like that. Maybe even another head coaching job, because you're starting to see the pendulum swing, because for so many years it was like, oh, we want the young up-and-coming offensive guy. Oh, this guy sniffed Sean McVay's crop-dusted fart at a Chili's one time, so we need to hire him as head coach. But he's 22 years old and never had head coaching experience or coordinator experience. Who cares? We're in. So now I think you're going to see that pendulum swing. Oh, we need defensive minds to be able to stop these offenses. And Zimmer throughout his career has been able to do that. Last year, but if the Zimmer Hellfire defense rides again in 2020 like we projected to be, if that offensive line gets fixed, if Kirk Cousins can play within himself and they run the piss out of the football and Dalvin Cook stays fully healthy, I mean, give Zimmer all the money that he wants. Let him build and buy 3 Zimmerland ranches. I don't care. So as of right now, it is a bit surprising based on what happened in the playoffs, as well as everything that tracks in the offseason, that Zimmer hasn't been extended yet. But I don't know. We'll see. I actually do want to see if he'll play out his contract year, because there's so many intriguing storylines. Like, Dallas, will they be one and done with Mike McCarthy? Like Mike McCarthy and his stupid offense, they tank. All of a sudden, Jerry Jones, the Vikings go to a Super Bowl, they win it. He's still a free agent, and then Zimmer's a little bit miffed at the Wilfs that they didn't give him a long-term extension. And then Jerry Jones hires him away for $20 million a year. Let's see it. Let's see that happen. So we'll see. But your thoughts, Zimmer extension, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work, pull us up in the Venmo. Please give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skull, production value.